Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here. So what movie are we going to be talking about today? Well, it took me a while to actually get into the theaters to see it because I just wanted to avoid the crazy fans and the crowds, but today we are going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi, starring Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Oscar Isaac. So, we all know our thoughts about Star Wars Episode VII, The Force Awakens. I thought that it was a fun movie. I didn't think that it was the best Star Wars film, but for some strange reason, the more I go back to The Force Awakens, the less and less I really do like it. Yes, it sort of felt like it was Episode 4 told again, but at the same time, it still has a lot of great Star Wars moments in it. When I take a look at the story as a whole, it just doesn't seem to climb any higher than some of the better films in the entire saga. So, Episode 8, obviously, with my feelings towards Episode 7, I honestly had very low expectations. I really didn't think that it was going to be the best movie that I ever saw. I wasn't expecting it to be something that was truly going to blow my mind. I don't know why I felt that way, but the time came. I sat in the theater, and I sat through 2 hours plus of The Last Jedi, and it was okay. It wasn't excellent. It wasn't even good. It was just okay. Comedically, I actually did a live show a couple of weeks back with my friend Rum and Apples. I'll put a link to that podcast in the box below, where I actually said that if I go into this movie and walk out loving it, thinking that it was the best Star Wars movie of all time, I would eat my shoe, and I would even put a video on YouTube showing me eating said shoe. Well, that shoe is going to be staying on my feet for a very long time because I didn't think that it was an excellent movie. There is still a great deal of fun to be had in this movie. There are some really good characters to get behind. The acting is also very good, but there is a lot that I just wasn't satisfied with. Now, before I get into all of that, I just want to say a couple of things. The political statements, the diversity, the fact that there were more women than men in the rebellion. I am not gonna go crazy and get political with all of these messages because those things were the least of my issues with this movie. Those things were just flat out there to be there, and there was nothing that I really had against or for it. So I'm neutral on that. Just want to make that clear. As exciting as it can be, especially with its amazing opening title sequence, along with its amazing climactic ending battle, and everything in between, the main issue that I had with this movie was the fact that the story just didn't go anywhere. And not just that, also with a lot of the bold plot twists and anticlimactic moments that we actually got within this movie, because let's face it, when Star Wars The Force Awakens came out in theaters and those credits rolled, we had theories up the wazoo. We wanted to know what Rey's parents were all about. We wanted to know who Supreme Leader Snoke was. We wanted to learn more about the relationship that Luke had to Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren. And we got those answers to a certain degree in this movie, but it wasn't the answers that we were expecting, and to a certain degree it pissed off a lot of people, and myself included, not for the sake that I wanted certain things to go in certain ways, but it was because of the fact that it just keeps us guessing even more. And at the end of the movie, and it's a long movie, everybody, we sort of just are right back at the beginning, and I'm just not too thrilled with the fact that we really didn't move forward with this story at all. The only question that I actually got answered in this movie is now I know where blue milk comes from. While the acting is spectacular, the story and the characters are just not a good match. The actors basically do whatever they possibly can with what they are given, and they give us some really good performances, but characters like Finn and Rey, who had so much ability to be developed in such great ways, they just seemed so flat, and they really didn't go anywhere. And that's kind of a darn shame to me, because these are characters that people were excited to embrace, people who had already embraced them in Episode 7. We wanted to see them do so much more, but unfortunately, they really didn't. They were just there, and they were just working with the script that they had, and if this is just because of the fact that they want everything to come together in Episode 9, I think that that's a little bit of a shame, and I'm not too thrilled about that. Another thing that a lot of people really are just going berserk over is the character of Rose, and I personally had no issue with Rose. I thought that she was cute, I thought that she had some really funny moments, but the story that she has with Finn, with them going off on a side quest for the sake of uncovering things to help the Resistance fight the First Order, I feel that they extended it way too much, and they gave us so much filler that we didn't really need, to the point where I was just flat out bored with what was actually happening with her and Finn and their story. Once again, I thought that their chemistry was very good, but their story was just kinda lackluster. Now, that's a lot to unpack, guys. I'm really sorry about all that, but let's at least talk a little bit about the good. The acting in this movie is solid. I thought that Mark Hamill gave me one of his greatest performances. I was behind him every step of the way as Luke Skywalker. I just loved the direction that they went in regards to him, and the ending with his character is just something that I accepted and embraced, and I really felt for him at the end of this movie. Princess Leia, of course, it was so hard to watch her on screen, and at the end credits you get a beautiful commemoration for Carrie Fisher, and I really did enjoy what her character was in this movie as well. I also was surprised with a lot of the extra actors that they actually got in this film, like Laura Dern, who plays Grand Admiral Holdo, as well as Benicio del Toro, who plays DJ. I did enjoy their characters to a certain extent, but especially with Holdo, I really felt that they didn't give her enough to work with, and I just found her very one-dimensional most of the time. I thought that Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaacs, was fantastic. I loved him. I thought that John Boyega as Finn was very funny. And of course, I thought that Adam Driver, I think he had the best performance beside Mark Hamill in this film. I really did appreciate him. I was also surprised that BB-8 really didn't have as many moments as I thought he was going to. Even R2-D2 and Chewbacca were pretty non-existent. Now, the Porgs, on the other hand, the Porgs definitely were funny. I like that you just got enough of them, and you didn't get an overwhelming amount of annoyance with them. But also, there is a great deal of nostalgia in this movie, and the nostalgic moments are perfectly placed throughout the film, and those were the moments that I really was finally brought back down and reminding myself, this is a Star Wars movie. Enjoy this movie, have fun with this movie, and just remember all of the amazing things that Star Wars has given you throughout the years. John Williams, of course, returns, and I think that he gave me one of the best scores in all of Star Wars, because I loved how he really incorporated the entire compositions of his work within this film. I heard everything from Leia's theme to the main titles to a little bit of the Imperial March, and even in some moments a little bit of Anakin's betrayal from Episode 3, and I really did like that a lot. This movie is now officially behind us. I'm not so thrilled with the fact that the finished product was what it was, because I really felt that it could have been a lot better. As much as I appreciate the boldness and out-of-the-element moments that they gave us in this film, I really was just saying that there could have been more. And I also thought that this movie didn't have to be so long. I mean, there were so many moments in this Star Wars film, and I think this is a first for me, where we thought we were getting to the end, and here's a little bit more. We thought we were going to get to the end, here's a little bit more. Wasn't really too happy about that either. It just makes me feel so sad that I feel that we could have gotten a much better Star Wars movie, especially from where we had just come in Episode 7. I don't want to see this movie in theaters again. I really don't, and that's really a darn shame. Is it a movie that I'm going to see again? Well, as a completionist, of course I'm going to see this movie again, especially considering the fact that I still rewatch episodes 1 and 2, and is this a movie that I'm going to get on DVD? Yes, it has to be there. I still will sit and I will watch it from time to time, but honestly, I feel that this is definitely one of the weaker installments in all of Star Wars. I actually think that Episode 1 is better. I don't think that Episode 2 is better, but I still feel that I have more of a connection to the characters and a lot more fun with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. But you should still see this movie on the big screen. This is why movie theaters were invented, and I am going to be giving Star Wars The Last Jedi a 2 stars out of 4 rating. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please put your comments in the box below, and let's discuss Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.